Hello. We are live. Like I promised yesterday, we'll be theory crafting today a little bit. Okay, so I already spent a little bit of time. If you seen it before, I did do like my first draft of my build. I copied some powers, like it was very scuffed. That I was doing literally after the beta. So that was a while ago now. And then I did the necromancer skill tree because we only had skill tree at the time. So I did the skill tree link. But now they updated the website. They have way more stuff here. They have paragons now. You can set gear and skills here as well. So I revisited that. I did some changes from things I watched, things I thought about a bit more. I changed a little bit of things around, so this is basically my upgraded 2.0 version of the build. So yeah, let's get over it. So the first change that I made was grabbing this aspect of power, or legendary enchant, whatever you want to call it. So it gives armor for 4 seconds after you deal any form of damage, and it stacks up to I think it's 25% if it's not on two-handed weapon and stuff, right? So or maybe it's 50. No, actually I think it's 50%, and then I think it's plus 50% or plus 100% if it's on weapon or amulet. So yeah, so this is a good defensive option. Apparently minions are not so good late game, from what I heard, that they will need a lot of tankiness. So I heard also armor is the thing that makes them tanky. That's like one of the main things you can increase for yourself to then for it to transfer or like be correlated to tankiness of minions. So if you increase your armor, minions are supposed to be more tanky as well because of that. So that's something I put in for the time being. The next thing is obviously the skeletal mages, right? And the skeletal warriors increase +2 on both. I think that's pretty standard. So that stayed. Then we have the Shadow Blight Key passive. Also, it stayed from the last build. Aspect of Hardened Bones, I'm pretty sure also stayed. That one gives you, your minions damage reduction. And since we'll be playing full minion build, we'll have a lot of minions. So I'll pretty much always have 7 at least minions, so they will take less damage. So that's good. Aspect of Frenzy Dead, that also stayed from the last build. Very, very good. I love this ability. I see that like many people agree that this should be the weapon enchant on two-handed, so I'm glad. I mean, there's not much like choice when you start comparing the powers and stuff. This one, it like sticks out immediately. So I think that one was pretty obvious that it's gonna be the best one. Then on amulet, I put this one, which increases your skeleton's damage. I'm not super sure about this one because I think your skeletons. So I'm assuming it's only warrior skeletons, but maybe if it's all of the skeletons, as in skeleton mages and warriors, then sure, that's cool. I'm gonna have it here. If it's not, then we might put something else. We might put a defensive one there, or Maybe either of those two. So we'll see. So that stayed from the last one. Blighted Aspect also stayed from the last one. Increases damage. You deal after Shadow Blight passive. And last, the Bone Prison spawns a pool of Blight that deals 50 to 100% bonus damage over 6 seconds. So, from the things that I'm uncertain of, I feel like pretty much every single passive here is locked in, except both Shadow Blight powers might change, and the Bone Prison might change, because I'm not sure if I will be using Bone Prison endgame. For now, I'm planning on using it, but like I said in the beta last time, if the Bone Prison sucks ass late game against late game enemies, they can get out of it or break it immediately, then yeah, we will be moving away from Bone Prison. But when I used it in beta, it looked like at least one or two of the boss's elites were not getting out of it, and their AI was kind of confused what to do. So yeah, I think this will be more of a field test, right? I will go in, I will try using it, and if I start noticing that bosses are getting out of it, breaking it constantly, and it doesn't provide us with any value, then I will axe it, and then we will put something else here instead. Ideally, I will be putting something that gives me vulnerable, because it's a nice extra damage I would be able to have for my damage, but also for all of my minions. I'm double dipping a little bit with the Bone Golem. Well, not Bone Golem, Iron Golem actually. But with the Golem, because I'm taking the Iron one and I'm taking the upgrade 2, which every time your Golem uses slam attack also makes the enemies that are hit by it vulnerable for 3 seconds. So I think that could be a good option to try and keep up that vulnerable. If it doesn't work out too well with the Bone Prison and stuff, we'll swap to something else, like maybe Bone Spear. Probably Bone Spear. I don't think there's any other good options here, because we have basic attacks here, which I don't think, like, if you want to go that way, might as well go here, right? The first enemy hit, vulnerable for 3 seconds, so you can have permanent uptime on it. So that's what I would go with. This one is extremely unreliable, and from the testing I did not really like the Sever that much when I used it in the beta. Other than that, what we have this, right? Oh, never mind. This just does extra damage, so that's not a valid option. We have corpse tendrils, so I guess that could be an option, right? Doing this, but again, like, from what I remember in beta when I was using it, I did not really like the corpse tendrils. Plus, I don't know. We already have slow on our decrepify, so I don't know how I feel about another slow. Like, I feel like it gives us less. It gives a stun though, so you know, there's that, I guess, but not doesn't do anything against bosses. So yeah, and other than that, that's it. Like, there's no, unless there's some other ways to get vulnerable from Paragon. I did not remember seeing anything like that, but then again, I guess I was not even looking. Yeah, I don't think so. doesn't seem to exist. So yeah, I feel like I need to have vulnerable in my build, basically. Like, maybe I'm trying to shoehorn too much on it, but I really do feel like you should have it in your build, like, at all costs, pretty much. So Bone Prison to me is a decent choice because I can cast it, doesn't cost any essence, so I don't have to worry about it at all. But I know it would be like unreliable, so we'll see. Like, to me, Bone Prison, yes, it supplies with vulnerable, but then you get like additional things, such as you get a little bit of essence, but doesn't matter too much, I guess. But you do get the option to lock in enemies or lock in bosses, elites. I feel like that might protect minions a bit more. Maybe it will confuse AI enough to where your minions actually live longer because of it. Also, if the boss doesn't teleport or cannot get out, it will stay in that place, right? So, or your all of your blight pools that you will have, right? They will be able to hit. The corpse explosion with the blight enchant also will be able to constantly hit the boss. So I feel like there's good stuff you can probably get out of the Bone Prison. It just depends how, like, the idea of it during the beta to me was like, nah, this is terrible idea. This shit will die immediately and it will do absolutely nothing. But then when I used it against like one of the hardest bosses available in beta, you know, it worked. It worked pretty well, actually. So we'll see. Worst case, I will be probably swapping to Bone Spear. I think that makes the most sense out of all the options I went over. Like, maybe corpse tendrils, maybe. But it's like, I don't know. This will be the same thing, right? Actually, no. Corpse tendrils won't be a thing because it's 11-second cooldown. While Bone Spear you can constantly cast as long as you have essence, that is. And we should have essence because we'll be blowing up corpses. So yeah, I mean 100%. We'll just go for Bone Spear. That's the end of it, pretty much. Yeah, not much to talk about. So yeah. Okay, so what else? So like I said, the Shadow Blight key passive. I'm not sure about those two yet because I might not be using Shadow Blight key passive at all. I might go for the Minion one instead. For now, I like the idea of going Shadow Blight on myself and then also have like big focus on minions. That way I feel like I will be doing decent damage with it, but also my minions will be doing a lot of damage. And because of Shadow Blight focus, I'm double dipping with Shadow Mages when they fire additional bolt. And because we'll have a lot of attack speed, they will get that 6 attack relatively quick. Overall, that's not like a big fucking increase when you start looking at it, because it's every 6 attack you get additional attack. That means you're only getting 1/6 damage up, right? So it's not that big of a deal. I know people like the bone ones. Yeah, this one, right? After being alive for 5 seconds, bone mages deal 40% increased damage. So yeah, I'm assuming those minions will do damage. like a lot of damage. I don't know how much more than Shadow ones, but it looks better, 40% versus 1/6. So, but I know, yeah, the Bone Mages use their own bodies as projectiles, so they will damage themselves. I don't know how that goes in terms of them surviving. Like, I had the survivability is a big problem for minions, so going for mages that damage themselves on top of everything else, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, especially when you get like attack speed and stuff like that, and they kill themselves faster. Nah, I would have to test it. I did not have access to like the end game stuff, so I'm very blind in that case. I'm just speculating and looking at things here. So yeah, like, and I know there are people that know their shit, especially when we're talking about like minion guys, right? But I don't know. I want to try doing it my own way, my own build. I want to like get to it myself. And if I need inspiration or I need help, then I'll look at their stuff. But for the most part, I just want to be on my own on this and just do it my way. The stuff that like makes sense to me. So right now I'm going for, again, like full minions, and then with the rest, I put it onto blight stuff for myself. So we're doing like a blight minions mix basically, but we're fully spec'd for minions in terms of paragons, skill tree. So that's the plan. But okay, I went over the powers. Some of them I changed again, like I said, the 3 of them. As for replacers, I don't think there's that many replacements actually, so I hope this works. If not, then we'll be looking at some other stuff, I suppose. Like there's some more defensive powers I could go for, I suppose. There's the bubble one, for example, so I could try grabbing the bubble one. But other than that, there's not that much I could replace. There's one that pulls with blight. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny ability. I don't know if it does much though. Like it was cool to pull enemies when I was doing it in beta, but I don't know if it was providing me with much, to be honest, other than, wow, that's cool, I'm grouping enemies. So, yeah, no. We'll see, basically. Okay. That's enough about those powers. Let's go over the gems. Gems, I feel very whatever about. I just took whatever made the most sense to me. I went with Amethyst for weapon, 8% damage over time, because we'll be doing a lot of blight damage. We'll be doing blight pulls. We'll be doing the corpse explosion with blight on it. So all of that will be damage over time. At least I'm pretty sure it's considered damage over time. So more damage for those 2 abilities. There's not really much else for you to choose from. I saw a lot of people went for this, for diamond, ultimate skill damage. But because I'm not using ultimate skill at all in my build, there's not really anything else you can go for, which is kind of a shame. I don't know why there's such little choice for damage stuff. So kind of ass. Now for armor, I took Ruby because it gives max life. I feel like Thorns is kind of whatever. Damage taken over time reduction sounds pretty whatever. Reduction while crowd controlled impaired, whatever. Damage reduction while fortified. This one a lot of people took, but I don't like. I would take this if I was taking the node that gives you fortified in the skill tree, and I did not take that one. But we will see. Maybe if it actually stacks and it's a huge node, maybe I will go back and I will cut points on something else and I'll grab this, and then if that's the case, then I will swap from life to damage reduction here. Because otherwise I'm just grabbing life because it's the only thing that does anything for me. Healing received, barrier generation, none of it does anything. So like to me it's pretty much just choice between Sapphire or Ruby. Sapphire if you have the fortification node, and if you don't, then just max life. And now for jewelry, at first I took just diamond resistance to all elements. I figured, well, just less damage from all sources of damage. Plus I think minions should get percentage of it, I think, so technically makes your minions slightly tankier as well. But apparently armor is really good for you and for your minions to survive, and so I'm taking armor instead. So that's one of the changes I made here. Now for the abilities. So obviously I'm using Ray's skeleton ability, and I'm using the golem ability. So that's two abilities, I mean must-haves for minion build. Then we are using the blight, which to me is the best option for your core skill, because it will increase the damage you and your minions deal by times 15%. So whenever they're within the blight. And I think that also applies to the blight spawned by Bone Prison. So when you take the aspect pull of blight, so that's pretty cool. And I max it out for damage, so it deals more, and it slows enemies. Pretty irrelevant the slow, because we are taking the Crepify curse. I think that's a pretty cool curse. Barely costs anything. You slow enemies by 40%, so big slow. But also you make it so they deal less damage to you and your minions. So everyone is more tanky. Also you have a chance to stun them, and also you have a chance to reduce your other cooldowns by 1 second, both on lucky hit procs. So yeah, so again, like just a good curse, provides you with tankiness and crowd control, and because you're slowing them, you will be doing more damage with your other stuff as well, with your shadow abilities, because we took the node for it. So then Bone Prison, like I said before, Bone Prison for me is there for vulnerable. If that's not gonna work late game, and I realize it's kind of ass, then I will swap this to Bone Spear instead, so we can apply the vulnerable. I just like this more because I feel like this is alive for longer than 3 seconds. Otherwise you would have to cast the Bone Spear every 3 seconds. And I kind of want to cast Blight with all of my essence, so the playstyle will have to change a little bit during that time. So yeah, that's something to like keep in mind. But Bone Prison might change. And then last is Corpse Explosion. I initially had double curse. I think even in my old one I ran double curse, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, I ran double curse. I decided to not take it. And the reason why is because Iron Maiden does not really give that much, if you look at it. So enemies will take 10% damage each time, and I don't know what this damage scales from. Didn't feel like it was a lot though. So you make it free here, and you get essence for each enemy curse. So this was a good essence generator, and that aspect I did like. But when I looked at this, I can see the value of this if you're being focused, but since we're like full minion, I just have a hard time seeing us getting hit all the time, where this heal would be like really good for us. I just don't see it. But it sounds cool to heal for 5%, right? Every time, so I don't know. Like this one would be nice, but I just don't think I'll be getting hit that often, and I will lose that much life to begin with. So I think this will be pretty relevant. So so whatever damage, essence, which we already will generate a lot of it with corpses, and then the heal, that's also kind of irrelevant. I just don't think this provides much. I was dropping the damage to cursed enemies, distant ones, to grab some corpse stuff instead, because it's a blight damage, shadow damage rather. I think it just combos better. Overall, it just combos better with all the setup we have, with Shadow Blight passive, with Shadow Blight here, skills here, with Shadow here abilities, right? Even with some Paragon stuff. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like it will just have more value dropping this and going for Corpse Explosion instead. It's free also, and on top of it, I think like clearing events and clearing like big packs of mobs will be easier too with this, because if you saw my gameplay in beta, you just explode them and like literally everywhere there's a pool, a blight pool damaging enemies. They will just constantly keep dying like before they even get to you and stuff. They will spawn more corpses when they die, and then you can explode those and spawn more pools. And you like, especially the wave based events and stuff, this is like, it felt extremely fucking good. And since we'll have big corpse regeneration with this, right? So in boss fights, I feel like we'll be creating a lot of corpses and constantly exploding them, creating blight pools. All of them will stack with each other, so the more blight pools you have, the more damage over time you will deal, because each of them will be damaging boss separately. So altogether the damage should be huge. And then you will have the bone prison to keep the boss in place as well. Overall I feel like it will combo well. At least on paper it looks decent. We'll see in practice if it will work out, but yeah. Other than that, in terms of the warriors, mages and golems, I went with reapers with the second upgrade to spawn corpses. I think that makes sense because we rely on corpses a lot. I took shadow upgrade for mages because a lot of upgrades are for shadow damage from your minions. That's, I think, the only way you can have shadow damage from your minions, the shadow mages, so that's why I took it. And then the golem, I'm torn between taking blood golem, taking the second upgrade blood golem, or the iron golem second upgrade. This one gives you vulnerable, so because this will be on cooldown, and even for like mobbing purposes and stuff, it will be hard to be reliable with bone prison. So I feel like this will help it, especially like against multiple elites and stuff, when you can't really cast bone prisons on every elite because of the cooldown. So you'll have your minion, your golem here help out with the vulnerable every now and then, but we'll see. I don't feel confident about the golem yet. We'll see if that's how it will work out or not. Okay, on to the skill tree. We take the points in the basic attack here and upgrade just so we can progress the tree. We will not be using this at all. Now in this tree we maxed out Blight, we take the slow, and then we go into more minion damage from you and your minions to enemies inside of the Blight pool. We also take 3 points here to spawn corpses, of a chance to spawn corpses whenever we damage enemies or bosses. Then here we take full Skeletor Warrior mastery. We take Corpse Explosion with upgrade towards the Blight Pool or Miasma. We take Bone Prison for the vulnerable. We take Grim Harvest for essence whenever we consume corpses. And we take damage after consuming corpses. I'm not sure if this shit stacks or not. I would imagine it doesn't stack, just refreshes, but we'll see. Because I know this does more damage, but this is only to distant enemies. This one is close enemies, so this one I just don't feel too strong about those two because they're conditional here. Well, you always will be consuming corpse, so that's not really a conditional, right, in this build. This one wasn't too bad either, but again, 9% to cursed enemies. I'm consuming corpses, it's the same like value, but I feel like consuming corpses will be easier to do or have 100% uptime than cursing. You might forget to curse, but you will constantly be consuming corpses, so this is just easier upkeep. Then we take obviously the Skeletal Mage Mastery, all points, and again we take Decrepify, and we go into reducing cooldowns, or have a chance to reduce cooldowns of your abilities by 1 second. Then in this tree we take the 3 points into movement speed after dealing dark skill damage. This will be really good because all of our damage is darkness damage, right? Shadow damage. We have this from Corpse Explosions, we have it from Bone Prison with that ability that spawns a Blight Pool, our Blight Pool as well, so we will constantly will be doing that damage, meaning we should have this uptime all the time. And because Necromancer has shit mobility, well, this will alleviate it a little bit where we have extra movement speed. Then this one, extra damage from you and your minions, shadow damage for 2 seconds whenever you damage them with darkness skills. So again, because we'll be damaging them with darkness skills, our darkness skills will be doing more damage, and our minions will be doing more damage as well from darkness skills. That's why we take the shadow mages, so they can benefit from this damage increase. Next one, darkness skill will deal more damage against slowed enemies by 9%. We get slow pretty much all the time because of this curse, so we'll have at least 9% more damage. We get another 9% more damage if we stun those mobs, and we have a chance to actually stun them here. So there are some enemies we might get double proc or double 9%, so 18% total here. But yeah, again, bonuses that can apply to shadow damage dealt by your minions. So again, that's why we take the shadow mages. This one I would like to take because this will combo well with stunning as well. Like, this would be another source of stuns for that extra damage, but bosses cannot be stunned. I don't think if elites can be stunned either, so I feel like the use for it is not that big. And the points, I'm very point starved, so I skipped that one. And then the last tree, very obvious tree here. 3 points into Life Golem, 3 points here, and here. All of the minion nodes, we take all of them, max out. We get what? After you've been healthy, minions gain attack speed. Very nice. Every 5 seconds we heal all the minions by 60%. of their max life. Minions cannot lose more than 45% of their max life from single damage instance, so that prevents them from getting one shot. Very, very, very important. And minions deal increased damage while you are close to them, which we will be close to most of the minions constantly. So yeah, there's not much to talk about there. Now the last one here, in terms of key passives, you have two options. You can either go for Shadow Blight or the Kalan's Edict. Kalan's Edict is more for minions. They will gain attack speed, and when you have 7 minions at least, they will get 30% attack speed. So very, very nice buff. However, you have to first of all not take damage for 3 seconds, which you probably will not be taking damage, but hey, if late game there's a lot of annoying shit where you suddenly do take damage, then this passive will not be working during those times. This one, however, will work all the time, and it gives you and your minions 10% bonus damage to enemies with Shadow Blight. So this is basically, you will have this all the time. So this is 10% more damage from all of your minions, all the time, no matter what. And also, every 10th time an enemy receives shadow damage from you or minions, and because we'll be spawning pools, a lot of them, and you will have a lot of mages that also do shadow damage, and then they have dual cast on 6 attack, so they will have two casts of damage. They will take even more damage from your minions and you. So as you see, every 10th time an enemy receives shadow damage from you or your minions, while they are affected by Shadow Blight, they take an additional 20% shadow damage. So that's a 20% extra proc every 10th damage instance, you can say. So like, imagine if you have, I don't know, like 7 corpses exploded, and you have 1 blight here, and you have 1 blight from Bone Prison. That's already 9 instances. Okay, let's say you have 8 corpses instead. So you have 10 instances of damage. All of those instances will deal damage every, I think, second or something. So that means that every second, because you have 10 different sources, they will proc this passive every single time, right? So every second you get this 20% extra tick. So I don't know, I feel like Shadow Blight might be more reliable than this one with minions, especially if you focus into shadow damage like I did. So I like it more, but we'll see. Like, if this doesn't work too well with minions, and it doesn't go too well, then I might, you know, swap from this to normal. I might took away some points with shadow damage and try to move those points somewhere else, right? Stuff like maybe double curse, maybe just like extra damage from cursed, the fortification one, right? This node I talked about, when a corpse is formed for your skills or your minions, fortify for 2 up to 6% base life, right? So I think this might be really fucking good. I think fortification also would mean that you don't take damage, because I think for you to take damage you have to actually lose health, and the shield or fortification, I don't think it counts as taking damage. So I think this probably makes more sense with this key passive, because then it's easier to keep it up all the time instead of getting damaged by some random shit. So I'm guessing those two together probably work really well. But yeah, as you see, very, very starved in terms of points. Things I could change if we don't care too much about essence, and if the Bone Prison works, we actually might not have to care that much. We might drop 2 points here and grab 2 points into this instead. If we don't like any of those passives, we could drop points maybe here or something and put them here, or max out this and maybe put somewhere else. So there's a little bit of room here, but not much. Like most of the things I took are pretty much must-haves in my mind. Like I technically could drop like blight damage here, like blight levels, but I really don't want to do that because this will be one of the primary sources of damage. I would like to max out corpse explosion too, but the scaling on it is not that great from what I've seen, and you get like only 5%, yeah, per level, which is pretty shit. Here you get way more because you get 3% immediately, and then you get what, like 8% over 6 seconds. So you get 8 times 6, I think, right? I'm pretty sure it's like 40% extra or something. Either way, the scaling seems better on blight than on corpse explosion in that regard. So yeah, that's the skill tree for the time being. We'll see, some things might change later down the line. Now, in terms of Paragon board, this one is, I don't feel like super confident on Paragon board. I'm grabbing things that make sense to me, and that's about it. Like I wonder if like this, for example, is valuable. Like this makes you more tanky. I don't know how important that would be. For the time being, I basically went just for the rare nodes. That's pretty much it. There's really, it feels like there's not much options in terms of build for the boards. You basically just take rare nodes and you go to the next board. You take rare nodes, you go to the next board. That's pretty much it, especially for like minion build. There's only like 2 good options, okay, for minion build. So, and the third one is pretty much whatever the fuck your build goes with. I'm thinking if maybe I want to invest more into shadow damage here instead, but I don't know, decent amount of them are kind of whatever, and I think shadow damage, if I'm not mistaken, I think it only increases your damage, not your minions' shadow damage, and if that's the case, then it's, yeah, then it's not as good. Plus it requires you to stack willpower, the legendary node, and we are stacking intelligence, not the willpower, so that makes it even less attractive. But okay, so the starting board, we go right, we take all the damage here plus life, and then we go here, we will have warrior glyph that gives for every 5 dexterity, and the range warriors will deal extra damage, and if you get the bonus, which is 25 dexterity in the radius, then warriors will also gain 20% increased armor. So we grab basically all of the dexterity we can get. Make sure to mark it level 20 to see how far, because the range of it increases actually with level. So also I'm grabbing armor here because armor apparently is good for minions and for their tankiness, so I'm grabbing all of them. I'm also grabbing all of the damage here, and again all of the dexterity that exists within this range I'm also taking. And then we go next. The first board I'm taking is Cult Leader. This is pretty much the only choice you have, as everyone will take it if you're going full minion, because that's the only board that does pretty much anything for your minions, okay? Like, you cannot play minions without this, so this is locked in. I was trying to find like what's the best way to connect those nodes. This is what I ended up with. I feel pretty okay in terms of efficiency on traveling, but I'm not convinced that this is the best way and like the most points saved way to go over this board. So if I see a better one, I might change it, but this is what I came up with right now. So I'm going for this one, Infuse Caster. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. We're grabbing all of the rare nodes. Then we go here, and from here we go to the legendary node. And for those rare nodes, then rare nodes here, we branch out for those nodes. Then we go here for the glyph, rare nodes. We skip dexterity, those two. You might pick them up later, but doesn't matter right now. And then we go to the next board. Here, same thing, we just grab all of the nodes for the golem, all of them, legendary one as well, and then you just connect whatever is like the closest to the next board. And the third board pretty much doesn't matter what you pick. You probably will not have that many points left over anyway, so pick whatever makes sense for your build. Because I'm doing shadow damage and stuff, I went for the shadow board. The reason why I didn't take those 2 dexterities here is because I wanted to get extra points for shadow damage for those nodes. I'm also grabbing the legendary, so that's pretty much it for the boards themselves. Not much to talk about here. Again, you just grab the rare nodes, that's it. And that's the build. Okay, that's the build. I'm feeling like it should be decent, but my stuff that I'm afraid of is basically late game. How late game will look like, and will this be viable? I'm scared because, again, like I've heard a lot of people talking how minions are very meh in late game, and yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like I'm fighting an uphill battle here. Even though I like this on paper, everything here, I feel good about it. I don't know if that's gonna work and work at all late game. So we'll see. There's no other way for me to do it. So other than just play and see if it works. But alright, that's it for the Necromancer. I guess we can do the Sorc stuff. So I'm doing the Sorc build for a few reasons. One is because there was one build I made in beta, and build I actually liked quite a lot. So I want to try to recreate it for like late game with paragons and all of the skills and stuff. And second of all, because if the minion one will not work and I'll be forced to jump off from minions, I might have to go for just playing Sorc instead, if I like my ice build more. It will honestly depend, because I can see myself also just swapping from minions to like full Shadow Blight damage build, for example. I think I wouldn't mind going full Shadow Blight, just axe all of the minion shit and go more shadow stuff. Same with Paragon board, just focus on shadow shit and drop the minion stuff. So that's something I might do, but it's nice to have a character, a different class, just in case, in the back pocket. And worst case, you know, I will want to play other classes eventually, so that's something I might play instead. Okay. So I know nothing about the powers and stuff for Sorc for the most part. I only know a few things I want to grab for sure. And I feel like Yeah, where do we even start? Maybe abilities. So what I want to use, we are using ice shards 100%. Okay, I want to use ice shards. I like them a lot. I have a combo with them, so yeah, we'll be grabbing this. So ice shards will automatically be conjured and fly towards frozen enemies. This will work super well when we go around and mob the enemies, because we'll be going into them, freezing them, and then ice shards will explode. We'll also have legendary enchant that makes it so the ice shards will penetrate the target, so this will be a huge AoE damage. It's very, very comfy for mobbing. And then the second one, I am trying to remember. I think I was doing Hydra, pretty sure. Conjuration skill, okay, so this is probably just stuff like Ice Blades, huh? And Hydras. Obviously, you can even take this for mobbing on top of it, right? To make enemies die even faster, but I don't think it will be even necessary. I don't remember, honestly. I think I took Hydra, but I can't remember. I also know we took Deep Freeze. Honestly, let's not bother checking it like that, when I can just go back and see my own video. Let's see videos, and let's scroll all the way back. 2 months ago, Frost Nova combo build, there it is. Okay. Oh right, I didn't even have access to enchants, to 2 of them. Could probably still grab Hydra for the boss itself, like sure. Yeah, I don't remember what I was even grabbing here. I think I was probably, it looks like I was grabbing Hydra though. It was for bossing stuff, which would make sense. But Hydras are kind of poo-poo now, I heard. So I don't know if we'll be going into Hydras at all. And we can always grab something like Flame Shield. This like prevents us from dying, right? So that's an option. I think I still will want to grab Ice Armor. Also, then we can grab Deep Freeze as well. So this basically will help us deal with any of the mechanics in the boss, for example, because we can just freeze ourselves and completely ignore a phase or a mechanic or whatever and not get one-shotted, presumably, at least. I don't know if that will be the case. And of course, right, of course Frost Nova, 100%. Like, this is our main combo to like mob enemies. So the idea behind the build is you run around, you use Frost Nova. Frost Nova freezes enemies, and then every enemy hit, every enemy that is frozen, I think, hit from Frost Nova reduces Frost Nova cooldown, and because they're frozen, ice shards will automatically form and fly towards them. So when you freeze, the shards get sent for every enemy that got frozen. All of those shards will also penetrate, so they will hit targets behind them as well. And because it hits all of those frozen enemies, this will get maxed out immediately, the passive for reducing cooldown. So we'll have Frost Nova back again. And I think there's another power that gives us 2 stacks of Frost Nova. That way we can actually have a better upkeep of having Frost Novas when we go into packs. Because we have 2 charges of this. So Ice Armor will be here for just extra barrier, extra protection. I'm not sure if I will be using Ice Armor. We might drop it for maybe Fire Armor instead or something. I like the Deep Freeze, again, ignoring mechanics and shit. So I think Deep Freeze might also be a good choice. Or for sure taking Teleport, 100%, for mobility purposes. And then the 5th or 6th slot is, I don't know. I think I pretty much take whatever at this point. Yeah, I think you can take whatever. I went with Hydras last time, I think. Yeah, I went with Hydras, so my beta build looked exactly like this. Force Ice Skills plus Teleport and Hydras. I heard Hydras are kind of whatever now though, so I don't know if Hydra build, if going for Hydras will be good here. But honestly, I don't even know what else you would do, because our main skill will be Ice Shards anyway. So that's what we'll be casting. That's against bosses, against enemies. So, like, technically you could maybe do Blizzard instead of Hydras. Like, that's something you could do, I guess. But it's just, I don't know. I feel like this still does more damage, man. Because if boss moves, it doesn't do any damage anymore, while Hydra is still shooting. I don't know. I'm not sure here. I'll have to think about it still. But let's go here. Kind of like this. Maybe this way for leveling. Because this is guaranteed pierce through. I think that's what people will use for leveling probably. I don't know if the Arc Lash or Light or Spark got nerfed. In this tree, we definitely go Ice Shards full max. 40% chance to ricochet to another enemy. That's another thing. So they can also ricochet on top of it. So, and they always ricochet from frozen enemies. So you have like fucking tens of shards just flying after your first Frost Nova because of all the procs. When you have a barrier active, casts of Ice Shards treat enemies as if they were frozen. Meaning they do times 25% extra damage and they also ricochet. So that would work against bosses, but you have to have a barrier on. But vulnerable makes them take more damage. And we don't have to rely on anything, right? And we still get frozen buff for everything other than like bosses and shit. Actually, we get it when the boss is broken, right? Because then they're considered like everything. So they are considered frozen as well, and because of that, then we do more damage to them as well, so we double dip. So that way we make them still vulnerable. I wonder if this works. If I cast Frost Nova and it summons Ice Shards, I wonder if this counts. Because technically, like, I'm not casting it, but like the core skill gets casted. I wonder if that would work. But it's a small damage increase though, it seems like. This shit is still funny to me. Fucking 3 mana, man. Like, wow. 9 max mana. Amazing, dude. Okay, you obviously grab all of this, so you deal more damage, but you take more damage. Obviously you grab Frost Nova. So when you kill enemies that are frozen by Frost Nova, reduce cooldown by 1 second up to 4 seconds. So that got nerfed quite a lot actually, but that's fine. Hopefully we can stack more cooldowns towards late game. Maybe we do it like this. I'm trying to think because like this is good. This is good for mobbing. Because we will not be casting ice shards all the time here. So this is our way to make them vulnerable. Yeah, we'll probably stick with that. I doubt mana will be that meaningful. And against bosses, this shit is useless too. So, and this is actually useful. Or more useful. Here... I don't think we're grabbing anything at all. Your barriers have 5% increased duration. Do I care about lucky hits? Maybe. I guess we'll go Hydra for now. And if anything, we'll just change it, but... Okay, so we definitely maxed this out. Definitely this out. Definitely this. And definitely this. Now we grab also deep freeze. Grab this. And we grab this. And now here. So this is useless against bosses. No. I think we take Avalanche for sure. And we still have 19 points left over. Wait, did we grab teleport? No, we didn't. Okay. Now we grabbed everything we can. We still have 16 points. Let's grab lucky hit stuff. We could grab defensive shit here. This doesn't give too much, right? 3%. I'll be only able to have like 2 Hydras. Maybe 3 Hydras max. It's 9% max and not great. Already freeze. I don't think this does anything for us. I also don't think this does anything for us. Only this one does anything. Here barriers, increase duration. But I'll be honest, out of all the options, I feel like we just go defensive here. And I guess 2 points here. And we're done. Actually, let me see something. Ooh. Right, this... I forgot this reduces cooldown. What about points into teleport? Also reduces cooldown. It's like 2.2 seconds difference though. I think I can live with 2 seconds off. Here it's like 4.3 seconds. But like here I feel like I need to get as much as possible. Because this is for mobbing purposes. Yeah, I'm fine with this setup. Yeah, this is fine. And we go ice shards and we go Hydra here. And for bosses, we can swap from ice shards to I don't know. There's defensive stuff, probably flame shield. Or meteor maybe. I'm fine with that. Instead of skill or in terms of skill order, we'll have those on Q 100%. Hydra here, I think. On W. Then on E, we will have Frost. Then on R, we'll have Deep Freeze. Actually, maybe we'll have Deep Freeze actually on F. And on R we'll have Shield. Actually we'll have Teleport. On W. And then like so. Yeah, I think that's fine. We'll see. We'll figure it out though in terms of button presses, because I forget like how does this one work. So we'll see. But okay, we got the enchants and all of that shit, and we got skill tree. Now gear wise. Okay. 45, 60 results. I think Amulet has everything on it, pretty sure. When you freeze an enemy. But we have good sources of vulnerable. I don't think we need that. This might be good. This could be good. %. Nah. Maybe. Yes. It's kind of cool. That sounds cool. Huh. Explosions from Shatter Key passive deal more damage. Ah. That is interesting. Would it make this key passive more viable though? Maybe. This one no. Unstoppable for 3 seconds. You deal more damage. Vulnerable enemies while you have a barrier. Technically we will have both, huh? Okay. I got a decent amount of the powers now. Let me look at the unique stuff. You drain resources. That's it, really? Oh wait, because I'm looking at the amulet only. If a core skill hits 5 or more enemies, that could actually be decent with the ice shards. And this also is not bad. Did we get any resource here actually? No. Okay, so I did not go over resources, I guess then. It's like this shit only matters for like bosses, I feel like. Only the boss shit makes sense to me. Hmm. That's not bad actually. That one would be pretty cool actually. I just feel like it's too much damage, man. And like I don't know how like, you can scale this shit up so hard. But I don't know if you have to. I'll have to look at it late game, but that's pretty hilarious. Okay. I mean, I will not be basing my build with the uniques because I think uniques will be hard to get anyway, so I think like overall just planning for using uniques makes little sense because like who knows when you get them, and if you get them I think you should focus on making a build without them, and if you get them then fucking great, right? Then you can alter your build considering what unique you got, but other than that I think probably no uniques. That would be my play, but okay. So extra damage to vulnerable enemies while you have barrier. So that's a 2-step. Explosions from Shatter Key passive deal increased damage if enemies die while frozen. I actually don't know. I actually do not know what I want to go for here. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I just looked at the list. A few enchantments. Just to see if I agree. I see people taking eye shards for weapon, but I don't know. I don't know if I like weapon. Having eye shard stuff. I would rather grab this, but my problem with this is like it has to be immobilized, stunned, or frozen, meaning it doesn't work on fucking bosses. Like this one, I could do this one. 50% more damage. But you have to have a barrier. Hmm. I think this one makes the most sense for movement stuff now. Lucky hit also is cool. Actually, I don't like this one. Here you can only have defensive shit, so... What about chest? Chest also... Actually no, chest can have utility as well. Same with helm. I think it's this one, Snow Veiled Aspect, Unstoppable. I think that one for sure. I think that one I want 100%. Now... Frost Nova Charge, I think that for sure you want to have. Encased Aspect, huh? Restore max life and mana. But this one is so good. I think we go with this. So it will be what, 80% more damage to immobilize, stunned, or frozen enemies. So it works for mobbing, and for boss, whenever you break his bar, he will be considered he would like be under this bracket, I'm pretty sure, right? So then 80%. That's probably the way to do it. And then here, actually, you know what? No. Yeah. Let's do it like that. And then here, we'll grab this. And then on one of the rings, or maybe even this actually, I'll grab this. Yeah. Maybe like this. Yeah, I like this. We'll see. I'm not sure about the key passive yet. It's weird because like I don't know the interactions, unfortunately, so I can't test it. I'm assuming lucky hit is a one thing, right? 16%, so it's 16%. I think it's the total. I think it's total, which is kind of bullshit. I think it's the same as Hydra. Lucky hit 53%, but actually it's 53% over 10 seconds for each head, like overall, and not 50% per each hit from Hydra. I think it might be the same here. 5 shards, so it's overall 16% across all 5 shards. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's 16% per each shard. That would be definitely way better. But then we have some increase for lucky hit. So first it has to hit the lucky hit, and then when it hits the lucky hit, then it has 10% chance to make the next cast free and do 40% more damage. Well, double the chances against vulnerable, which they almost always will be, so it'll be 20% instead, but still. I don't know. That will depend if lucky hit is an actual thing. Because if not, then we go for this. But unfortunately, this one doesn't fucking work for bosses, right? After freeze expires, enemies explode for 25% of damage you deal to them while frozen. I don't know, maybe you go this. Maybe you go this. Because then I think it just counts as frozen for enemies. I don't know how the interaction would work. I really don't know. For now, I think that's what I'm sticking with. And Hydras probably will get yeeted for something else. Probably. %20 stronger. I wonder how that would fucking scale. I think I want to go for both of those. Let's see the conjuration. I don't think we even we'll have even hydras, to be honest. But lucky hit, we can scale lucky hit more here. So that's interesting. For now, let's grab whatever. That's pretty much usually how you do it. Oh, it's a potion healing though. I don't know about that though. Lucky hit chance, cold res, that I can understand. Vulnerable. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 6. 3, 6, 7. 3, 6. 3, 6, 7. I think this one is the best. Huh. We saved 2 points by doing that, actually. Okay, so this way for now is gonna be the path. We still have some points left. So we just need to find like the 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7, 3, 6. So we can go right. 7. So we go right. I guess technically we can go up as well. 15 intelligence, we get same. So let's go this way. And then let's grab Icefall, I think. For sure we go like this. And then we will have to go like so. And then instead of going here, we can skip those. And instead we can just do it like this. Okay. And now the closest. Five. Also 5. What about... We need to get this as soon as possible though. So this... going this way makes the most sense, I think. Bang, 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 and then we can go this and then grab this. Right, and then we get this. Actually, we can go this way. Because those are more valuable. Yeah. Now let's figure out... Let's figure out those shits. Crowd controlled targets. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be good. Winter. Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their cold damage and damage reduction modifiers. Ooh. Frostbite. What about Enchanter? Every 5 intelligence purchase within range, you deal 2% increased non-physical damage. And then the bonus is for each skill equipped in your enchantment slot, gain... Oh, resistance, never mind. Plus it's enchantment slots. Never mind then. Nah. Mm. All magic notes. Oh, those are those, huh? 50% bonus. Paragon nodes. We need 40 intelligence here. 10. 20. 30. Technically. That's enough, I think, right? Pretty sure. It's 10, 20, 30, 40. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck Paragon nodes means though. Paragon nodes within range gain 40% bonus to their cold damage and damage reduction modifiers. So those would fucking count, pretty sure. But what about those? I don't know if those would count. What about those? Chilled. Is that considered cold? Only 25 decks. Okay. Okay, willpower or dexterity? What do we have more here? Willpower or dexterity? We have some dex. And willpower, so we're equal on that. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. We have 6, 7 nodes for willpower. How many for dex? 1, 2, 3, 4. So definitely willpower. So we're taking frostbite here, and we take every single willpower node. So take those two. Take this. We take this one. We take this one. And I think we grabbed every single dexterity here. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's kind of funny. That is kind of funny. I'll be honest, I don't know about that one, Chief. We'll make it, but yeah, I'm not feeling like super confident. The board itself is fucking weird to me. I needed to look up a little bit of stuff. Like, people recommend this for this specific section, but I don't know. Paragon nodes gain bonus to their cold damage and damage reduction modifiers. Like, I'm assuming this works for those, right? But what about the damage? Because here is vulnerable damage. I don't know if this counts as for this bonus. I don't think so. I don't think it does. And then yeah. Granted, I don't even know if you have any cold damage anywhere, so I guess this is probably the best spot, I'm assuming. Plus, it probably has the... Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably like the best spot for it. Probably that's why. That would be my assumption. I'm saying fuck to potion healing on both. On both things, which we'll see. Maybe I'll have to grab it, but I just don't think so. Right, there are resistances here as well that I did not grab. So I don't know, like I think this might be more worth than those resistances at the beginning. But overall it's just super rough. Kinda weird build I have going on. Yeah. I like the rest are kind of whatever. There's more rare node ones, but like damage to chilled enemies, I guess that could have been decent, but then reduce damage from chilled enemies, I don't know. Here vulnerable plus cold res could be decent, I guess. Although it said rare nodes, I think, yeah. Whatever. I'm not gonna think too much about it. I'm sure I will have to play test and play around with this shit a lot anyway to figure out. Well, I don't know. I feel decent about it. Like, the only part is I don't know if I'm gonna use Hydras. Heard they're kind of ass. If so, then I don't know. We'll grab something else. I might grab like maybe basic skill or something. Because I'm not gonna grab anything mana related. I already have enough defenses, I feel like. I don't think I want to grab another shield or anything like that. Yeah, Blizzard not great either. There's just not that many great options, honestly. Yeah, maybe I'll grab basic attack. I could grab vulnerable here instead. Then I can grab this instead, and then bosses would be... It would work better on bosses, so maybe that's something. That doesn't sound too bad, actually. And since it's a basic attack, I can guarantee it get the vulnerable. Oh, actually, wait, no, because this makes frozen enemies vulnerable. But I'm probably not gonna be able to fucking freeze them. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. I don't feel too strong about the Sorc shit. I'll just have to look later down the line and, you know, see other people's builds and maybe I'll modify based on that. I just didn't play Sorc enough. All I know is I liked the combo that I found out with Ice Shards, Enchantment, and Frost Nova. Like, those two together felt super good. And then you combine shit like Ice Shards, Piercing, and yeah. And Frost Nova charges. Those things together felt good, but yeah. I'll come back to Ice Shard Sorc later down the line. I'm pretty much locked in playing Necro for sure. To start with, that one I feel at least decent about. Like I know enough with the build. Granted, obviously I didn't have endgame practice, so who knows endgame wise how off base I am, but but at least board wise and shit like that makes sense to me. Sorc 1 is a little more over the place, I feel like. I would have to like test things out, but most likely I think I'll just look over someone else build, and I'll just edit it to whatever I want to do. If I don't like specific aspects, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Yeah. Okay, that's it from me. I'm just thinking, should we hop on? Nah, I'm tired. We'll be doing maybe Ether Geyser tomorrow then. I thought I would be doing it today, but this build stuff took a bit longer, and I started relatively late because I had other shit to do. So yeah, so I'll end up here. And yeah, tomorrow I'll come back with Ether Geyser. We'll play some more. Also embargo lifts, I think, tomorrow for Diablo, so I might be watching some videos maybe and listening to some opinions and stuff, especially on like necro shit, since people will be able to talk about late game. So maybe I'll be doing some last minute adjustments to my build tomorrow. And then yeah, and then we're like 3 days away from the release. Actually, 2 days away at that point. Yeah, I would be 2 days away. So I will be super fucking close to release. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for Ether Geyser, and in 3 days we'll be here playing Diablo 4, and we'll be playing hard. We'll see how long the stream will be, but I definitely want to play a lot of Diablo 4 on release. We'll be pushing hard with the Necro. I'm not gonna race or anything like that, but I want to just push fast, get to the level 50 end game, and start getting the build and gear and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. But alright, that's it from me, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.